It's our job to record history. They often say newspapers are the first version of history. How do we document everything that's going on? The positive stories, and there are lots of them, the challenges we face as a community, solutions for how to move forward. People look to the LSJ when something of import happens in Lansing, and they expect us to tell them. And so to me, our legacy is we're keeping track of Lansing's record, and people can go back and look at that over time. And it's not just what happened 2 years ago or 5 years ago or 20 years ago. It's all of those and more. And we have that legacy and that archive to be able to tell stories in their full context. Even as journalists come and go from the LSJ, its mission and the institution has stayed the same.
To be able to sustain from the 1850s to now and still have the massive audience reach that our newsroom generates is really impressive.
People love the Journal. People love to pick on us too, but they love it. And so, for us, it's like, how do we do that? How do we engage with readers in a way that's meaningful?
So much has changed in the newsprint world. We've had to really adapt and refocus where we need to be and where we're going to make the most impact.
So we're still, like every business, going after the elusive, 18 to 34-year-old category. But the real challenge with that is, how do you find ways to deliver the news in consumable bits that these people want to read, this demographic?
We do have, the ability to reach anybody at this point, which changes the way we've been able to outreach to the community.
We use the technology to our advantage, but we try to be immediate, and we look at what type of news we're reporting, and then we look at the platform we want to deliver it on. We unveiled a project we've been working on for several months on domestic violence. Michigan's laws lag behind a lot of other states in terms of protecting domestic violence victims. We were able to sit down with 3 different women who were victims of domestic violence to tell their stories. We took great care in that. Our hope is that legislation will change because of the story we wrote. That's just one example. We do lots of stories like that. Maybe not always on that scale, but lots of things where we just are informing the community. We know we're part of the conversation, and that's part of our job too. It's not always our job to change things. It's our job to at least raise the conversation and be a part of facilitating that conversation. I like to remind people that our journalists live in this community and they choose to live here. So we don't just cover the community, we're a part of it. And so I think it's really important that, that we are on the street corners, we're in the churches, we're in the schools, because we raise our families here. And so the way we cover it, it really matters.
It's a really great honor to have received this and to still be relevant at this point. We've put in the work and put in the resources to make sure that journalism is still well represented in our community.
This community needs the LSJ as much as the LSJ needs this community. There are so many stories that deserve to be told. There are more stories than we could ever tell. We're going to be here tomorrow, and the next day, and the next day. It might not look the same. We might not have a printed paper in 2060, but we're still going to be covering the news because it's what binds a community together.